Hello, welcome back to the Fooly Cooly 2 Premiere Countdown Pillows Discography Podcast Deluxe, Extra Deluxe Hospitality, Reloaded, and Knuckles, a la mode, Super Alpha 2, Electric Boogaloo, A Tale of Memories with Trail Mix, featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series in Technicolor, but also grayscale. We're talking today about Thank You My Twilight, a pretty damn good album for the Pillows. Again, of course, I am here with my fellow scholars, George and Shem.
Hello, hello.
How's it going?
Shem took a pause.
It was a dramatic pause. It wasn't me fatiguing out.
We call him Shem the Sleeper.
No. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so we're talking about Thank You My Twilight, this one. I really enjoy this, but I just want to talk about the album art for a second because there's actually another album. There's another album that of B-sides that looks exactly like the cover album for this, but they're all just in drag, and it's called Another Morning, Another Pillows, and they're just like girls at this diner in grayscale. It's hilarious, and I never knew because I thought Another Morning, Another Pillows, like, that's the first album. I listened to that one first before this one. So I thought it was like, oh, like, they're girls, like, haha. But no, actually, it's actually, like, a parody of this other one, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's some cool B-sides on that, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're only talking about those official studio albums for this countdown. So what about Rain Brain? Good old first track.
Rain Brain, yeah. Felt very sludgy, which I was a fan of, and also just hearing the random beeps and boops was like, this is Pillow's namesake.
Yeah,
they're on it.
Yeah, there'll be some beeps and boops in this whole album a little bit.
This whole album has a little bit of the just weird space noises, bleeps and bloops. The thing for me with Rain Brain is that, like, I kind of got a little bit of that, like, Pillows doing a thing and not fully committing to it, at least when I did it. It just sounded like there was a regular Pillows song recorded, and then they put it in the program to, do post, and somebody just kind of started fucking with it and was like, I don't know, space noises here, I guess we'll put some of those there. So, like, that's what I felt a little bit with Rain Brain, is that they're, like, they just don't form a really, like, those noises didn't form like a really musical experience for me.
Yeah,
I don't like a little bit of window dressing.
I definitely agree. I don't think it fit the song fully. It was like kind of fun. Like, I like the like weird like towards the end in that riff. The it's hard to like mimic. It's like the I don't even
Can't wait to hear that in post.
Yeah, that'll be great. I forget exactly. It's very hard to explain, but I do know what you mean.
If we try to say out the beeps and boops in this, we're gonna start sounding like Mr. Krabs. And
I was gonna say
beep boo boo bop, beep bop bop,
boop boop beep bop.
No. You're thinking of beep boo boo bop, boo boo bop, boo boo, biscuit hammer.
Ooh, that segue.
Although, one thing about Rain Brain that I did like was, like, the lyrics weren't all that, like, deep this time around, but one thing that I thought was cool was sort of this effect of, so it's still got, like, that punk theme of, like, yeah, we're kind of pushed down, sort of, but in this way, it's sort of like, the effect you are having on me is what matters because it's affecting me, but you specifically still don't matter. I don't know. That's kind of what I took from it. I thought it was kind of interesting. But yeah, Biscuit Hammer.
Biscuit Hammer. What a name. What a song. Well, when I mean what a song, I don't know where I'm going with this. No, what I'm going with this is I was getting definitely some like Foo Fighter kind of, because again this came out 2001, 2002?
No, this is like... this is like... Oh, yeah. 02.
Yep.
02? Right. Yeah, so, like, again, you're getting that, like, bleeding influence effect from, like, Western music and bands. I felt like the bass seemed very subdued on this track, which I wasn't a fan of, but then they seemed like, since it sounded like, oh, he's listening to this, so let's just quickly throw in a bass solo.
Yeah,
to make up for it.
I felt the same way. I was like, oh, cool, a bass solo, and then the bass solo happened, and I was like, okay, that was an alright bass solo, but it was a bass solo. This is another one where like there's background watery vocals, and there was like xylophone beeps, or like, they either were the beeps or they were a xylophone or whatever they were. And I liked them, but they're another thing where they're just low in the mix. They're just like, we had an idea, but we're not really going to break the identity of the musical, of our sound, really, with this instrumentation. And so that was a little bit, like, overall, I liked this song. I thought it was driving and fun. I thought it had a good hook. But there were a couple things that felt like they could have been turned up.
Mm-hmm. I just thought the whole song was a dick joke. Like, actually, because so we're always soaked in sexual frigidity. We don't have any. We're always like, which is a really cool line for like repression. That's really cool. But then it's sort of like, well, I'm going to use this biscuit hammer. It's hard to explain, but when you really look at what these lyrics are, you kind of get this hint like, oh, like we're breaking that frigidity with this big old biscuit hammer. I don't know. That's the way I took it.
Okay.
Also, fun fact: there's a manga called Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, which is totally referencing this song. Because I don't even know if this is a spoiler. I don't even give a fuck. It is like this big hammer that basically the big bad has, that is basically hurtling towards Earth at pretty much like throughout the course of the manga, and they're sort of trying to stop it, which was pretty cool. And I know this is probably a spoiler. There's someone else's power or like something else that's called Blues Drive Monster, so that's where it kind of like links in. There's like two big references there. That's the only thing I know about the manga. Anyway, what's the next song? Babylon Tenshi no Uta. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it felt like a dramedy movie kind of song, like 80 miles an hour kind of love. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I was just a really big fan of the use of the organ track.
Oh yeah.
I did think that this kind of fell into their standard repertoire for pillows. And I just thought it had a solid breakdown. So, yeah, I was a fan of it.
Yeah, I like there was kind of the interlude that's a little more washed out and mellow, because that gives the end a bit more impact, and I thought that was cool. But the very end is just kind of like the drummer shit in the bed. Like it ends, I guess, but it's just kind of like just
thrown together.
Yeah, just thrown together. It's just like, well, song needs to end, I guess. Which is different from my previous criticisms of Fade Out, so it is an end, so point out.
Point out.
Yeah. I mean, with Babylon Tenshi no Uta, it's kind of like I can take it or leave it. It's one of those songs that I don't actually end up putting on a playlist. I just listen to it if I'm listening to the whole album, which I can say that about a lot of songs, but this one, it just kind of felt like just another like mid album track sort of thing. That's not how I feel about My Beautiful Son, though. I usually just call it Irene, but that's just me.
What are your thoughts on My Beautiful Son, Irene?
Okay, so this song takes me back to when I first got into the Pillows, back in the days of Demonoid. I don't know if anyone remembers Demonoid, but that was like the first private tracker for torrents I ever had. And that was always really fun. So I first got the discography in like 2009, so probably half of what we're talking about now. Mm-hmm. I got it back then, and I listened to this album and Another Morning, Another Pillows a lot, the B-sides, I think, that were just straight up from this album. And Irene was just a really good track. That always kind of stuck with me just because of mainly the chorus, but then also like the sort of transition back into the verses, sort of like, how do I explain this? I don't even know at this point. Post-editing, I'm trying to think of what specifically was about it. So in between the chorus and the verses, you get this like really like high pitched kind of guitar riff that I always really liked.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny because in high school there was this one girl, Irene, who actually went to my school, but I felt nothing towards her at all. So I always felt weird about this song because it was like, I like this song more than I like this person.
All right, taking real, just name dropping.
I don't remember her last name.
Yeah,
and it's
just
fine.
the first name. But anyway, I wasn't crazy about this song.
No.
Yeah, because it felt like an ode to the 80s because of how heavy they went with the synth. And it just felt like if they were going to go... It felt watered down if they were going to do like an ode to the 80s. Like, I felt like they could have done a better job.
Yeah, instead of it feeling like a new take on the 80s or an homage to that sound, it feels dated from the wrong decade.
Yeah.
To me. Like, the synths here and even also on the next track, Come On Ghost, just feel a little bit like temporally displaced.
Come On
Really?
Ghost, though, is such a good title track.
Oh yeah, I love Come On Ghost. It still has that dated fact to it to me.
Oh,
Well-
one thing I have actually about Irene though, one other thing, was the I think it's the second chorus. The second chorus has this really cool line that I like. It's like, Irene, kimi ga sashita, Irene, togeni muchusa, I need you. It's like, Irene, you've pricked me. Irene, thorny delirium, I need you. Like I have been like poisoned by your poison ivy kind of desire shit.
Right.
I thought that was really cool. I don't know. That's something I like a lot. But Come On Ghost is probably another one of those classic, like, my favorite Pillow songs.
Come On Ghost, the going to work montage song. Or as I like to say, Max Keeble's big move.
What?
That's-
Max Keeble's big move.
I don't know, it just seemed like a track that could have been on that movie.
I barely remember that movie.
Yeah,
So
the whole premise was basically your Ned's declassified protag.
Oh my god.
Finding out that his family is moving, and he's deciding to get back at everyone that has screwed him over at his middle school.
Oh, was that the one with like the preppy black kid, and he's obsessed with like his handheld, and it's like a PDA thing, like personal, like, you remember PDAs?
Yeah, maybe
He has like a PDA, and it's like they're gonna smash the handheld. I feel like I remember seeing this
but
movie.
you have a young Josh Peck in a bathrobe. The entire movie.
I don't remember that part.
Oh yeah. Anyway, good.
That's what Come On Ghost conjures up for you.
For me,
Wow.
personally, yes.
I love Come On Ghost. From the chorus, like, all the way to the end, like, the hook is something I'll actually physically never forget. Come on Ghost, come on Beast, come on Twin Egoist. I think that's cool. It's just like, it sounds like he's like kind of not even necessarily going to work, but like literally getting ready for a concert.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt a little more like, how do I describe it? Like introspective. Because at the beginning it's sort of like the only person who gets to actually criticize me is me, for my work or like something like that. That's kind of what I got from it. But I just love Come On Ghost.
Yeah, this is one that I also remembered. I like this one. I think it's probably one of the better uses of synth on the album. It still has that dated thing, I felt like, but it doesn't get in the way. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Did anyone catch what the beginning of Robot Man is supposed to sing? Like the weird voice?
Oh my god.
It was I think it was written down on one of the links.
Yeah.
I think I copied it. It was the girl and I look just like hedgehogs,
Yeah.
but I'm... And then the song starts, and it's so fucking cool, because the whole song is like, I'm in this relationship, and I feel like I have at least someone who can understand me, because we're both hedgehogs, and it's like that whole like hedgehog's dilemma thing, which is even in the song.
Mm-hmm.
but then it's actually no
Oh,
because
Hedgehog's Dilemma. Oh, that's such a great track from Neon Genesis.
yeah, it's a good episode too.
It is a good episode. But, oh, I love that track.
Yeah. And then, like, the thing is that it's not even that he's a hedgehog. It's like he breaks up with her and realizes, like, I can't even relate to hedgehogs. I'm just a robot.
Yeah. That whole my emotions don't even work. All I've got is my emotions don't even work. I'm a crying robot.
Yeah.
I really like this one. I like the weird voice at the beginning. I like the lyrical content, and there's also like sections where the music kind of like opens up and expands the sound a bit that I really liked. And there's like a little bit like near the end there's like a climbing guitar riff that I also thought was really good. I think that it is funny though because it's called Robot Man and it has like the least robot sound out of anything else on the album thus far. I don't think there's any like there's the voice at the beginning, but I don't think there's any like bleeps and bloops across this one. So I thought that was funny. I have no idea if that was intentional, but it kind of works in that way. It almost could have been too on the nose if there was more robotic noise.
Yeah, I agree, especially because like it's already been in the album, so you know it's like a theme, so they don't have to like overdo it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I thought the build up was really slow in the beginning of the song. And then I was just thinking at one point it would just been really funny if they just didn't go into the rest of the song and just have it be the build up. So it's like it's getting there, get there eventually.
It gets there for 5 minutes and then just like ends on one chord.
Exactly.
That'd be hilarious.
You want to put that in your anxiety playlist?
Yeah. Right.
Oh no.
Oh, my sweet anxiety playlist.
Oh, I forgot about anxiety playlist. Have we talked about? Have I told you about the song "Spinal Meningitis"?
No.
By Ween.
No.
If
it's by Ween, then
if you need an anxiety song, I don't know who needs that, but if you do, listen to "Spinal Meningitis." You will want to die. It is extremely. I remember being in my cousin's car, and he was like, "Do you know who Ween is?" I was like, "No," and he was like, "What about that song at the end of the SpongeBob movie?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." So then, of course, being garbage that I am, I figured out that. But then he started playing Spinal Meningitis just so I could know what it was, and it was a more visceral experience than I think personally I would ever want out of a song. It was too much. But that being said, what about Ritalin 202?
So obviously, I'm guessing the lyrics make some reference to why the title track is Ritalin.
Barely.
Really?
Yeah, barely. It talks about like pills and crushing them and Ritalin. It doesn't have a. I don't know.
I mean, music sense wise, it seems like they were dipping their toes into pop punk. I mean, it kind of which makes sense since the album was dropped in 2002. But besides that, I don't know. I don't really have that much more to say.
I don't like this tricky jam.
This tricky jam? Why is it a tricky jam?
Yeah.
That's what it... No, I'm not saying that. That's a lyric in this
song. Oh, yeah! I don't like this tricky jam.
I love that line. I love how this song bounces around. There's some cool imagery in the lyrics with, like, ants and honey and medicine. And,
the idea is, like, she's covered in honey and then going to play with, like, some fire ants. I don't fully get it. I think it has to do with, like... Maybe it's talking about, like, how cool and insane this girl is, except for when she's on Ritalin. Maybe?
I have no idea.
I honestly don't even know. I don't even know, like, how accurate, like, the whole, like, Ritalin ADD thing even is to Japan. So, like, where this falls in under anything, I'm not even sure. I feel like Ritalin was more of a meme for this song.
Possibly. I don't know. The lyrics had a thing of, like, maybe the girl is sick in some way or...
Yeah. She's, like, on, like, an operating table or something. Yeah. But then
sick
she's
also,
dying, like, in other worlds. Yeah.
And the end, I couldn't even really parse the lyrics. It just kind of gets odd, but I didn't care. The lyric, I don't like this tricky jam, was great. The way that the song. Just like I said before, it bounces around. It feels playful.
Yeah. Go back.
I really liked it.
Go back. Yeah. Yeah, and now we're sort of right in the middle of the album, and I think we're getting to probably one of the best songs that Pillows have ever written, in my opinion. I'm going to be straight up. It's called
All the Bias.
It's called All the Bias. It's called White Summer and Green Bicycle, Red Hair with Black Guitar. And
Is
so
that the translation?
yes,
Okay.
that's the straight up. That's the whole name of the song.
Right.
And it is just an experience. So, for a little bit of backstory, when the album was coming out, they were trying to decide on a single from the album to actually make it to a single. And the frontman who wrote this song didn't want this song to be the single because they would have had to cut out the intro, which is almost 90 seconds long, I'm pretty sure. Something like that. And the band and the producers were all like, no, like, this is the song. Like, we have to use this. This is, like, so us and so you all at once. So eventually they did it, and they did have to cut the intro. But you should absolutely listen to the song with the intro. I don't think there are radio cuts anywhere anyway, so it doesn't even matter to anyone listening to it now. But basically the song is like a 90-second intro, and right off the bat, for me at least, it just pulls every emotion I have to the forefront and just, like, makes it, like, takes effect on all of them at once. Like, and then after the sort of the intro, like, the rhythm guitar that's happening over the sort of, like, regular, like, fuzz guitar, that's sort of what's keeping my attention, because the fuzz guitar is something I'm used to, but that specific rhythm, it doesn't, for me, it doesn't allow me to, like, divide my attention at all. And that's why I really think the entire intro makes sense for this song, because the whole song is that theme of alienation that we've been seeing throughout this entire thing. But this is where everything, like, you find out when this happened and why, basically. Not necessarily why, but you get, like, I think after this song you sort of get where Sawao Yamanaka comes from. Like, this very small town where he just didn't feel like anything would ever change, and never truly sort of allow him to assimilate. And that's why I really like it, because it's just a few images at a time, and then everything else is emotion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
The song is extremely moving for me pretty much every time.
Well, you're about to hate me.
Oh,
no. Oh, we're about to fight.
Oh,
Maybe.
no.
I didn't like it. It barely
Sorry
had
about the cough.
it barely had an effect on me. Probably my favorite part is the intro. I thought that there was things that like worked, and at the beginning of the song I like how his vocals sounded, but I thought that once the like screaming tinge near the end happened, I didn't think those worked. The only, like, looking at the translated lyrics, the only one that like I thought was super effective was the title itself. And just like what was going on musically as it went in later, just the yaz at the end, the screaming tinged vocals, I just did not, it just didn't work. Just didn't work for me for whatever reason. My first note is slanted italics writing, all caps, spaced out, moody.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a moody song on purpose. I think that's kind of what it was going for.
Right, and I got that, but yeah, it just didn't. Just something about it just did not do it for me.
Alright, I mean, that's fair, I understand it. Yeah, like, I just thought it was a nice placement after Riddle to have a slowdown. And it was just, it's always nice to hear this band try to get a bit more ambient and abstract with their stuff, that like they're aware of their catering of what target audience they're aiming for, but at the same time, as musicians, they're trying to experiment.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, I just blew my load about that song, so I don't know if I can reply necessarily. What about Winona?
This one just kind of washed over me.
Yeah,
it was like
pretty
pretty
straightforward.
It was just like
nothing really jumped out.
This is in fact a Pillow song that exists.
Yeah. For me, this was like I just couldn't get into it because I can never get into it when I listen to this album because fucking Black Guitar just ended, and I'm just sort of like, this song is like When She Keeps Sucking. I couldn't anymore. I was already like worn out. Like this album could be 7 songs long and I would be completely fine because of fucking Red Hair and Black Guitar. So with Winona, Winona is the song that I listen to like remember that there's other songs and then to like move on in the album, because it's just there isn't a ton going on, and there was just so much going on for me at least. So I was just kind of like, nah.
I was distracted enough during this song that I just ended up thinking of My Little Pony, because Applejack's dog is Winona, right? I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
That is true. Whenever I
so-
think of Winona, I think of the 5th gym leader from Ruby and Sapphire, the flying one who's in the rainforest.
Ah.
Yeah. Her gym is really cool in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Just saying. Oh no, that's not the same thing. I was thinking of the flying gym leader from Black and White with the cannons.
Yeah.
Well, that's completely relevant to what we're talking about.
She was sick.
She was also cool. I agree.
Ruined that whole gym with a Galvin Shula my first playthrough. That was incredible.
What about Thank You My Twilight? The
right off the bat, the what track?
The titty track?
The titty track.
The title track?
Right off the first 30 seconds, I just heard where is my mind? Where is my
Oh,
mind?
that's so
Where
true.
Is my... Yeah, so.
I didn't even pick that up.
Yep.
A lot of Pixies going on.
And I just kind of, went into it's just interesting with how we view bands and what influence they draw in.
Mm-hmm.
So with the Pillows and the huge discography that we're going through, we really get to break down and see which specific years they were influenced by what.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. The beginning of the song I really liked because I was like, okay, there's more beeps, and this time they're loud and kind of the main hook, and I was like, yes, you did it. You got to the end of the album and one of your songs did it. And then it slows down and lames out, and I was like, all right, maybe you could keep up what you were doing, but I love the end. Beeps only. Beeps 2018. Beeps forever.
Beeps 2018.
Running on a platform for more beeps for everyone.
You heard it here, folks. One thing lyrically that I just thought was cool was songs thank you my Twilight. So we're thanking whoever his Twilight is. God damn it! I'm only thinking of fucking ponies.
Yeah, that's exactly what was happening as well.
Damn it! But what I was actually thinking of back then, when I was listening to it, was in the beginning in Rain Brain, they go, oh, 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 it's all over my daylight. Like daylight's over, we're raining, but now we're way more happy with Twilight, which sounds a little edgy, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was cool because they kind of keep that rhythm going there. I like Rookie Jet a lot more.
Rookie Jet was fun. That was I didn't have too much to say about it.
True.
But I didn't dislike it at all.
This song is you remember what. Wait, is this the one I bought a Ferrari? Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought a Ferrari. Yeah. That song is great and hilarious because there's an episode of Beck Mongolian Chop Squad where they're at a music festival and it's just cutting between their competing bands to show what's going on at this festival that they have to play at, and there's this one set of generic basic randos who are just there as a band, and this guy, I'm pretty sure he has no shirt on. They don't look like the Pillows at all, but the Pillows paid for not the Pillows. They paid to have this song in this show just so that one band could be playing them at the thing, and it's like badly lip synced and stuff. Like the lip flaps don't even match. It's so fucking funny. When I first watched the show, I was like, "Is that a Pillows song? I think it is." And then I had to go back, and it actually was, and it was fucking hilarious. I can't remember what episode. It's definitely later in the show because they're actually like at a festival. Because for a while they just do like little shows like here and there. So I forget where it is. I think it's somewhere in the middle. Yeah, go look that up. Someone post that in the comments somewhere. I don't know who. Rookie Jet I like because it reminds you of who you're listening to. Like even like some of the more like standout like rock songs from this album don't feel as much like, yeah, like we're the Pillows. So that's why I like Rookie Jet. Just because it reminds you that we're not all about alienating ourselves and breaking up with girls like most of this album is about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Top two for me were Babylon and Shiro, or what's the translation?
White Summer with green bicycle, red hair with black guitar.
Yep.
Yeah?
Those are my top two.
Really? Okay. Sweet. I didn't know. I honestly couldn't tell how much you liked black guitar by what you said, but good.
Yeah, no, just because so with the slowdown, again, like that's something where like I wanted just to kind of like be like the beginning slowdown intro. Mm-hmm. I just wanted it to be the full song.
Yeah.
So like it made sense. Whereas like the vocalist was kind of worried that they were gonna, which they did, chop up the intro. So like,
yeah,
I see why.
My top two were of course red hair, black guitar, and Come On Ghost because Come On Ghost. What do you think?
So I went in thinking that Come On Ghost would be in my top two, but my top two are Robot Man and Ritalin 202.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh okay.
So those were I in fact do like this tricky jam.
This tricky jam
quite a bit.
Yeah.
Those were the ones, and I guess like I only have like a bottom one for this one, and it's the one in both of your faves. My least favorite off the album.
The standout track
is Black Guitar. I did not enjoy it.
Okay. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. I haven't cared at all about this type of thing in the past, but I actually want to hear specifically about this song just because I like it so much. What do y'all think? Is it bad? Is it good? I want to hear from y'all in the comments. You know how we feel. But yeah. So just one?
Just one.
Cool. My bottom two, and this was more like, so I haven't done a bottom two. I'm pretty sure in like last 3 episodes, did like all of us have like a bottom one? I'm pretty sure. Like
no, I've been doing bottom two, but you've been doing bottom.
Oh yeah, I've been doing bottom ones. That's true. Okay, so just me. This time I have a bottom two for this album specifically because I just think these ones are sort of the spaces in between the huge moments, which are Winona and Babylon Angel. Because I think if you take those out, like if you took Winona out or moved it, I think Black Guitar goes really well into Thank You My Twilight, because it's sort of like we're coming, how do I describe this? It's sort of like we're coming back into the present, like you've been saved, you're moving on like from that area where with Black Guitar, like where you are and like where you've come from, and now you're sort of like in your glory, like you're thanking however you got there. And then Babylon Angel doesn't fit as much necessarily into that whole thing, but like going from Biscuit Hammer to Irene would also be just pretty cool. But yeah, bottom two, bottom one, Jim.
Bottom two for me were My Beautiful Son, Irene again, because of just the not Full Potential 80s homage, and then Winona.
Winona, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Well, that's our opinions on Thank You, My Twilight. Definitely a different album for them. Like I think this one they've taken more of a like departure.
Yeah, I would say
what I mean?
I would say so, in definitely a few places. Yeah, overall, overall though on this past one, I was a little lukewarm. I have to say, on this album in general.
Yeah. With me, it's I don't know if I was. I don't know what I would necessarily rate this album. I think I just have too many memories of listening to this album to say necessarily. If,
I mean, the album would probably get a pretty good score from you, considering like some of your literal favorite.
yeah,
songs
that's
are
true.
there.
Come On Ghost is here. I can't knock anything that's Come On Ghost.
Like,
And Biscuit Hammer's good. Yeah, this album's fucking good. What can I say? I don't even know. It's just like when I listened to it, it didn't have as strong a hit on me as when I would listen to it in the past. But I think that's more because I'm used to listening to the songs I like from it and kind of getting rid of the other ones. But yeah. That about wraps up this episode. Is this episode short? I'm going to check. Let's see.
I mean, we were kind of... There's a lot of B-roll in the beginning, so...
That's really true. There is a lot of B-roll, so I have no clue. But that's fine. Have a great night, everyone.
bye.
See ya.